The case relating to the body parts that were found in a fridge in Soweto has now been postponed to the 30th of November. The suspect, Flavio Hlabangwane, will remain in hospital section of the Johannesburg prison. Hlabangwane reportedly tried to commit suicide once again this morning. Our reporter, Tshegohaco Moagi, is following that story and she joins us live. Tshegohaco, a very good afternoon to you. What was the reaction when the postponement of this case was announced? This certainly is one of those cases that the entire community has been watching with very beady eyes.
Indeed, Sis Tammy, good afternoon. And, you know, when asking about that reaction, it was quite interestingly to see how full this particular courtroom was when the proceedings had started, and how full it was even outside because, of course, of COVID-19 protocols. You can only have so many people inside the court, but it was absolutely full, and people were quite upset that he was now trying to plead mental insanity. We understand now that the defense team has made an application for him to be mentally assessed because of that suicidal attempt once again this morning. So the community really expressing their outrage at this particular postponement to the 30th of November. But let's get a reaction from another foundation that, of course, is against GBV, the Kwanele Foundation. The founder is with me here, Sihle Sibisi. Thank you so much for taking your time to speak to us, Sihle. So let's start off, of course, with this mental insanity plea that it seems Flavio Hlabangwane will be leaning towards. What is your reaction as the foundation to this?
Well, our reactions to the plea that he's now wanting to be assessed because for mental evaluation, because as we heard, he attempted to commit suicide in his first appearance, yet again this morning before he appeared. We say, let the law exhaust all processes, because at the end of the day, Lady X, the lady that he killed, that he butchered and put in his fridge, will never arise and come back to this planet Earth again. So let the law exhaust all processes that need to be done, but definitely we trust the law. We trust Lady Law that justice will not be denied in this case.
Now, this, of course, is a gender-based violence case. I mean, we've spoken so much about it throughout the year. But let's also not forget the girlfriend who found these body parts. This also must be quite traumatic to her. Have you spoken to her? Have you spoken to the family of the victim at this stage?
At this stage, we have not yet reached out to the girlfriend that found the body parts, but we heard and we saw that she was in court today, and team members of the Kwanele Foundation have reached out to her for a contact, because we can only but imagine the trauma that she's currently experiencing, having to have discovered Lady X's body in the fridge of her boyfriend, Mr. Flavio. So we will be there to give her psychological assistance going along with this case, but it's a very traumatic case that even in the court you could feel the tension. You could see the people in the courthouse were not happy. Some even attempting to want to take the law in their own hands through speech, things that were being said and the actions that were taking place within and outside the courtroom.
And the victim's family, have you had any contact with her? How are they doing?
Well, the victim's family, we are in contact with one lady who asked not to be mentioned, and we are in the process of giving them counseling, but it's one very dire situation that we can't even speak about right now. But yes, indeed, the victim's family will be getting psychological intervention. The victim's family, as Kwanele Foundation, when we stand here, we're also standing on their behalf, because our legal team was also here also to make sure that justice is not being denied, because gender-based violence and femicide affects us all, not only the victim's family. Remember, Flavio's family did not send him to say go and chop up the girl and kill him. So as Kwanele Foundation, we stand for the victim and the perpetrator's family when it comes to psychological intervention. So we are in the process of also contacting Flavio's family to offer counseling towards the family, because surely for them also it must be traumatic that now they are so famous all over the news nationally because of what their son has done.
Thank you so much, Sihle Sibisi, really just giving us their reaction as the Kwanele Foundation. And as you heard there, Sis Tammy, the community indeed saying that, you know, they'd rather take the law into their own hands. There was a few women in court that said rather release him then to the community and they will deal with him, just to show the unhappiness and how upset the community is at what Flavio Hlabangwane is accused of doing. Sami?
Thank you very much, Tshegohaco Moagi, for that update. So the 30th of November, then it will be for the law to take its course and hopefully for justice to be meted out, at least for the wheels of justice to start turning. Thank you very much for the update.